Can they like make a pill that just makes you naturally tan?
Bestie, just eat 3 large carrots a day. I've been doing this for years. I don't fake tan anymore. I don't go out during the day in the sunlight, and this is literally my natural skin color. Pale and pink like Peppa Pig. Trust me.
All right, do you want to be more tan this summer? In this video, we're talking about our summer tips, our summer goals, things that you can be doing this summer, and we're going to be talking about some natural, more effective ways to tan.
Summer, my favorite time of year. Let's look at our summer skincare goals together. Here we go.
Here we go.
First off, we want to thank Biossance. Shout them out for sponsoring this video. One of our favorite brands of all time. We've worked with them before. We've talked about them innumerable amounts of times.
Unmatched textures. That's Squalane. Chef's kiss.
When we heard they were revamping their beloved Squalane and Zinc sheer mineral sunscreen, we knew we had to be a part of it. So we're going to talk about that here today. Of course, sunscreens are going to be in this video.
It's summer. Of course, we're going to be talking about sunscreen, and specifically we'll be talking about this one from Biossance and what makes it different compared to its previous formulation. So let's get into our first goal for the summer. Is it a goal for you to get a little bit of that summer tan?
I was actually having an internal debate with a colleague and staff of mine, and this week, in fact, and they said, we're gonna get tan. We're gonna get tan this summer. And I said, how dare you?
How dare you? You wanna hear something crazy? So I posted this video trying to roast myself from the past. I posted this picture of me when I was younger, and I used to go tanning all the time, and because I went tanning all the time, I got a skin cancer, right? So I post this picture, and I'm like, look how I used to look, and now I don't go tanning anymore, and my skin is much healthier, and like telling the whole story. And the comments, thousands of comments, you used to look better, go back to how you used to look, which was absolutely devastating. So some people might want to have a tan. Me personally, I'm happy kind of with my baseline skin tone. The comments weren't happy with my baseline skin tone, so maybe I need to figure out a way to bring a little bit of color back. But let's talk about things that you can do safely for your skin, because you're not going to go in the booth and you're not going to go lay out in the sun, especially not if you're part of the Doctorly family.
We accept that some people want to be more tan for whatever reason, aesthetics, whatever. Like, it is the way it is. The other side of it is, yes, the sun is damaging, like UVB, UVA, they both damage your skin, both immediately and then long-term, break down your collagen, cause skin cancers, cause aging that will make you decades older in a period of years. So it's bad, right? Don't do that. The safer alternatives, there actually might be a couple of ways that you can do this. One of which is self-tanners. They have different ingredients. Dihydroxyacetone is a sugar molecule that actually can incorporate into your skin, can leave you with a tan that can last for a little while. I don't really have much of a problem with this. I really think it's actually relatively safe. I think aesthetically it can be acceptable. There's definitely some trial and error. Shout out to my nurses who come in every year with orange hands and orange splotches on their elbows, but at least it's safe and it can look good. I actually went with my nurse on a lunch break to get it done once. It was fine. It was fun. It was fine. Go for it.
It's basically a sugar molecule that attaches to that top layer of the skin. It lasts until your skin exfoliates itself, and then during that healing sort of process, it may or may not start to look a little patchy and may need a reapplication. But overall, it's pretty safe for the skin. There is some oxidative stress that occurs with these, but interestingly enough, a lot of the self-tanning brands and a lot of the spray tanning brands have coupled these with antioxidants that balance out that oxidative stress that's created by this molecule. And so they seem overall to be pretty safe for the skin. They even confer some degree of sun protection, maybe about like an SPF of 5 or something like this. So not meaningful sun protection, but a small amount of sun protection, and any sun protection you get is a bonus in my book.
It doesn't replace your sunscreen, but yeah, it is there a little bit. The second thing you can do, like the video we just watched, well, what if you eat 1 million carrots? You get carotenemia and your skin turns orange. And it's actually not as harmful as you think. It may leave you more orange than brown, but it's decently safe.
Yeah, so this is a well-described thing in the literature. It's basically you have excess beta carotene in your blood, and that deposits in the skin, and it leads to this yellowing orange appearance of the skin. And we've seen this in the past where people eat excessive vegetables or fruits that contain carotene. Carotene? Carotene.
Carotenoids, which turn to beta carotene.
Right, beta carotene. Now, if you go to the initial part of that video, the person asked, is there a pill that can make you tan? And there is a pill that can make you tan. It's called alpha-melanotide, and it stimulates your melanocytes to produce more melanin. So it's an alpha melanocyte stimulating hormone analog that essentially stimulates your melanocytes to produce more pigment and can make you more tan. Now, this is approved for porphyria. It's not approved for tanning for cosmetic purposes, and there's many reasons why you wouldn't want to use this for tanning purposes. Now, there are ones that people sell over the counter called Melanotan, and they were going viral on TikTok probably about a year or two ago, and the danger of these is that you don't want to be stimulating your melanocytes. Stimulated melanocytes lead to melanoma, so unless you have a good medical reason why you would want to stimulate your melanocytes to produce more melanin, you really shouldn't do that. There's a lot of good reasons. One, it could stimulate them and potentially cause melanoma, but the other issue is that it would also make your moles darker, and that would make it very difficult if your moles start changing. If you go to see a dermatologist and we see a very dark mole or a mole with increased pigment or abnormal or irregular pigment in it, then we're going to end up having to biopsy it. The pathologist is not going to know whether or not these are safe or not. So overall, I would say that you don't want to take anything that's going to be stimulating your melanocytes, especially if it's not regulated by a physician that's prescribing it.
The next goal, which really competes for the first goal, it is a dermatologist's first and foremost most important goal, and that is simply sun protection.
So our challenge for you this summer, all of you, some of you are going to go to the beach, you're going to have great trips, you're going to go to waterfalls, your kids have off this summer, you're going to be enjoying life, but you're going to promise us that everyone, including yourself in your family, is going to be wearing sunscreen at least once in the morning. In the morning, please, before you leave your house, especially if you're going to spend your day outside all day, just apply your sunscreen, please.
This is the most critical, most important foundational step. This is skincare you actually need once a day, and then please reapply throughout the day. Like, we want you to do that. The minimum ask is wear it. Please reapply it, especially if you're outside.
So reapplying every 2 hours, especially if you're going to be out in the sun, is going to make a big difference. We do know that the efficacy of sunscreen decreases throughout the day. Now, our highlighted sunscreen of this video, and there's a lot of sunscreens that we love, and when it comes to sunscreens, really texture and performance on the skin is going to be probably the biggest factor when it comes to choosing a sunscreen. Now, as long as it hits the SPF 30 level that we're looking for, I'm happy, he's happy, we're all happy. Find one that you like. Now, this one from Biossance is the one that I previously loved and I currently love. It's an incredible sunscreen, and you know Biossance knows its textures.
Yes, Biossance nails the aesthetics of their products, and then functionally they're excellent as well.
This is the Biossance new Squalane and Zinc Sheer Mineral Sunscreen. This is an SPF 30 and it's pure mineral zinc oxide. So these are the best types of sunscreens for people who have sensitive skin.
And then, of course, this is Biossance. So the backbone of the sunscreen is sugarcane-derived squalane. This has really revolutionized squalane across the board. Biossance is a pioneer. This is their formula. This is their love child. And it makes this extremely aesthetic. Squalane is an extremely unique oil. I love this skin oil. It's like one of my favorite, if not my favorite of all time, because it deeply absorbs, it hydrates. And because of that, it is not greasy like most skin oils. Aesthetically and functionally, it's top notch.
Now, this is a mineral sunscreen, so you really have to test it on your skin to see if it's going to be blendable or not. Actually, I think we've mentioned this product in another video before. I think this is as good as it gets when it comes to a mineral sunscreen. Like, when it comes to blendability, mineral, this is the best it gets. It's near invisible, but if you have a deeper, darker skin tone, it may be a little bit visible on you. So this is something that you certainly have to try on your skin and make sure that it's going to match with you. For me, it does great.
It's super nice, super gentle, feels hydrating. Aesthetically, it's a huge win. And then, of course, you see the blend here. It really does a great job.
What's really special about this sunscreen is the Ectoin. So I'm now starting to see this pop up in other Biossance products, but Ectoin is actually a really hero ingredient. I'm surprised this is the first time we're talking about it on the channel. Not only is it moisturizing, super hydrating, has the ability to bind water molecules, and has a really long-lasting hydration throughout the day. The other thing that it does, it actually gives you the ability to protect against visible light and blue light, and there are studies that show this. It actually has anti-pollution benefits. So it's proved for its anti-pollution benefits across the world. So it's a super interesting ingredient in the fact that not only is it hydrating and moisturizing, but it also has protection benefits. And these particular protection benefits are the type of protection benefits that you would want to see in a sunscreen, especially if you're someone who's prone to dark spots. Like we've said in the past, if you're exposed to visible light and you're prone to dark spots, it may make your dark spots worse. And so this Ectoin will give you that additional protection against that visible light.
Right, and this is perfect because your sunscreen is your cornerstone for protecting your skin, right? Now, we actually interact with more things throughout our environment. As the world gets dirtier, as it gets fuller, there is more pollution. And so all of these environmental stressors impact our skin. And so the sunscreen becomes a much more complete product when it's protecting against UV, which is the majority of it, and then also the rest of the environment, visible light, pollutants, etc.
So we'll put a link below for this product for you to check it out. But your main goal for this summer, wear sunscreen every day, reapply if you're out in the sun, find one that you personally love. We obviously have the ones that we love.
Yeah. And to round out sun protection, just real world scenarios, like sunscreen for your whole body can be prohibitive. So I'm a huge fan of sun protective clothing. And a part of the clothing is the UPF rating, similar to SPF. And this measures how well it protects your skin. Like white cotton, one study shows the protective effect is really low as 9. So you want something much more substantial. I'm a huge proponent for this. There are brands like Cooley-Bar. I know O'Neill, I've worn a lot of their stuff when I'm surfing, when I'm active. I've got a cool picture here. I was trying to convince Dr. Shaw to create a video around this. But I mean, it is protective. You don't have to reapply. It's very consistent. It's very easy to use. So I'm a huge fan of clothing.
So you'll probably never catch me in sun protective clothing. You might, but probably never. But maybe if I find one that I really like the way that it looks, you might catch me in sun protective clothing, but you might see me in a wide brim hat one day.
If he goes outside, he's like, I never wear sun protective clothing. But he's also like, I'm never outside.
So our next goal for the summer is got nothing to do with skincare, and it has everything to do with overall being healthy, which the body is not separate systems, right? They're all interconnected, right? Just like all us humans are interconnected that are talking to each other right now, our body organ systems are interconnected, right? So if you take good care of your body in general, your skin will benefit from this. And this is my own particular goal this year and this summer, is really just taking care of my health overall. And this to me means exercising and eating better. So if you've been listening to the podcast at all, you've heard me talk about this. I finally got a personal trainer. And I was really resistant to this idea of a personal trainer because I thought that I had the self-discipline to go. Like Dr. Maxfield goes to the gym every morning. He's got the discipline. He gets up at like 4 a.m. and he goes to the gym. For me, if I get up, I'll get right into the computer. I'll get right into seeing patients. And then I just won't ultimately go. And I thought I would be able to do it. And I just haven't been able to. So I got a personal trainer and I honestly feel the scale says I've lost 6 pounds. So that's a good sign. But overall, like I feel healthier, I have more energy, and I think it makes a big difference just taking care of your overall health. And investing in something like a personal trainer, like an at-home gym, these types of investments, a lot of times like I also thought it was kind of expensive to go this route, but I spend a lot of money on nice dinners. I spend a lot of money on other things that are not as helpful to my body. And you only have one body. Once you've ruined that body, it's kind of hard to go back on it, right? So I think investing in your body and your self-care is super important, even outside of your skincare. So whether that means getting a gym at home, whether that means getting a personal trainer, whether it means getting meal preps, like I've been using Factor meals that come in the mail. This is a lot of stuff that I've been doing, changing, but I actually feel like it really is improving my quality of life and my overall health, and I'm actually able to be happier and perform better even in my work.
Yeah, he looks so much better than he did a year ago, just candidly in person. Lights out better. So now he described a lifestyle that's probably not going to work with everybody. I don't care what you do to move. That's my thing. That's what I tell my patients. Like if you're 90, you're 80, you're 60, you're 70. I talk about this in the room. I'm like, hey, what do you do? What do you like to do outside? Why are you outside? Walk around your block. If that's where you start, that's where you start. If you're at 80 years old, you're not going to be doing what I do. I won't be doing what I do when I'm 80. Walk, move, do your salsa dancing, play pickleball. These are all great ways to just keep your body moving. I always say like exercise looks different for everybody. It looks different for the same person at different times of their lives, but just keep moving. Other side of it is like mental activity. So like take care of your body, take care of your mind. For me, like chess is the way I can like aggravate and exercise my mind. It's like pushing against a wall. So I think keeping mentally sharp, just exercise and create a whole healthy body. I'm still working on the food thing. I still struggle with that. I need to eat better. I'm too old to out-exercise what I consume. So we're working on that.
I think that with exercise, it can feel overwhelming because you think that your goal needs to be like a weightlifter or to get like a 6-pack, but simply like just walking, like he mentioned, or just even a small amount of exercise, even if you don't notice a difference in your appearance, you'll notice a difference in the way that you feel. Like I genuinely, like looking back, and even at the time I noticed, like I just like felt bad. Like I hadn't worked out in like 10 years. Like I felt poorly. Like I'd wake up, like I didn't feel like I was well rested. So overall, like I think that it will improve your quality of life, even if it's not improving your physical appearance, even if that's not your goal to improve your physical appearance. I think that it will make you feel better just about your daily tasks.
And then the next goal is actually a do less kind of goal. So it's things to avoid. There's actually an interesting list. This is a huge part of what we learn about in dermatology. What things interact with the sun that can be harmful for you or your skin.
Right, so there are something called photosensitizing ingredients and phototoxic ingredients. So you can have two things that occur. You can have a photoallergic reaction where you are using a particular ingredient on the skin, and that ingredient on the skin or a medication that you're taking or ingesting, when it interacts with the sun, it causes an allergic reaction, which is like an itchy rash. And then there's another type of reaction called a phototoxic reaction, which is not an allergy. In fact, when the sun interacts with that molecule, it causes a toxic reaction that will actually damage your skin. So there are a couple ingredients that you actually have to avoid, because otherwise you'll get really, really bad sunburns.
So it's a very long list of things, but the ones that are very relevant to you, glycolic acid and alpha hydroxy acids can actually make you more sensitive to the sun, and it's not relevant to when you're using it. If it's in your skincare routine at all, you're more sensitive to the sun.
Alpha hydroxy acids, these are not a phototoxic or a photoallergic reaction. It's because they're exfoliating the skin. They're actually making you less able to resist the sun, essentially. And so you will be more sensitive to just a general sunburn. Then there's also medications that are commonly prescribed in dermatology, especially if you have acne or rosacea. There's a medication called doxycycline. This causes a phototoxic drug reaction where when the sunlight interacts with it, it actually causes a toxic reaction that damages your skin cells. And so if you're on doxycycline, for whatever reason you may be on it, you definitely don't want to go out in the sun and get burnt.
Right, and for the same group of people actually with acne, isotretinoin or Accutane is the moniker, does make you more sensitive to the sun as well.
Now, we won't mention every single drug that can create these types of reactions, but there is one that's very common in a lot of my patients and probably in many of you, especially if you have high blood pressure, a medication called hydrochlorothiazide. It's a diuretic that's often used in people that have hypertension, and it is very commonly known to cause phototoxic reactions, but also increase your risk of developing squamous cell carcinoma of the skin. So if you're on this medication, definitely protect yourself from the sun.
Right, and that's a lot of people, so like not our key demographic, but a very important thing because a lot of people use that ingredient. Now there are some plants too, like we've talked at length about the lemons, furocoumarins that photosensitize your skin, and the reason this is relevant is people love to use lemons. You love to eat them, you love to drink lemonade, you like to use them in your hair to bleach your hair, you like to use them in your armpits, you like to use them on your skin. I don't know why you love them so much. However, citrus can make you more photosensitive.
Right, so limes, especially we see this commonly in people who are out drinking they get some margaritas, they get some lime on them, they go out in the sun, they're on the boat, they end up with this phototoxic reaction called phytophotodermatitis, and that causes this streaky hyperpigmentation. It can blister up and then it can last months before it goes away. And we see this all the time in dermatology. So be careful of your lemons, be careful of your limes, especially if you're going to be spending time out in the sun.
Right, so you're drinking, you're on the beach. This can be a problem for you or your bartender. And the other side of it is like the practical side. There's a whole family of plants that I used to be obsessed with these, but like the Umbelliferae, Apiaceae, these hogweed plants. If you're landscaping, mowing your yard, gardening, and you get these exposed on your skin, they also make you more sensitive to the sun and can cause phototoxic reactions as well.
Now there is one photoallergic medication that can cause allergic reactions when exposed to, and it's actually a sunscreen ingredient, which is paradoxical. We've talked about it before, an ingredient called oxybenzone. So when oxybenzone interacts with the sun, it can cause an allergic reaction, and it's a sunscreen filter.
Yep, so this is one to look for on your sunscreens. This is like a universal avoiding, it really doesn't matter. Like you have your doctors, you have your naturalists, you have your just straight up influencers. For different reasons, everyone does not like this ingredient. So oxybenzone or benzophenone 3, an easy avoid in your sunscreen.
And then last would be your retinoids in general. Probably okay to continue actually. So you can continue using your tretinoin or retinoids. Some studies say they make you more sensitive to the sun. Other studies actually say that they don't make you more sensitive to the sun. Just be thoughtful, definitely wear sunscreen in the morning for sure regardless, but probably okay to use at night.
Yeah, I would continue it. As always, personalize it. So if you swear that it's making you more sensitive to sun, like, that's fine. That's you. And adjust accordingly. Protect your skin a little more aggressively. But I would still continue to use it.
So that's your goal for the summer. Protect your skin from these photosensitizing, photoallergic, phototoxic medications. Now, our last goal for the summer is just switching up your moisturizer here. We talk about this every time the seasons change, but it's definitely appropriate, especially in the summer where you're gonna be out hot and sweaty, the humidity is up. You wanna move to those more lightweight gel texture moisturizers. There's many that are available out there.
Yep, so the fifth goal is actually hydrate, but it includes switching your moisturizer. So like the hydration thing, people are obsessed with drinking water. It's not doing as much as you think, but it's paramount to your overall health. So drink an appropriate amount of water. It's not gonna revolutionize your skin, but it will be good for you overall. And then yes, there's some amazing gel-like moisturizers that if you have oily skin, you're in a hot, humid environment, or it's just warm out, you're gonna love these. Like one of my favorites still is the Biossance Probiotic Squalane gel moisturizer. Every summer it rolls around and I use it. Neutrogena Hydro Boost is another classic OG. Patients, nurses, just everybody swears by it.
CeraVe PM is a really nice lightweight gel moisturizer. La Roche-Posay Toleriane Matte Moisturizer, another really good moisturizer, gel-like moisturizer for the summer. So definitely switch over to those gel-like moisturizers. And definitely if you're out in the sun, make sure that you're hydrating properly with water. I'm not a big fan of these sparkling waters. I know he is. Just drink regular water.
Or coconut water, I might say. So those are our goals for the summer. You know, we're looking to protect our skin first and foremost. Tanning is up to you, but do it in a non-sun related way. Be healthy, be thoughtful, be mindful, exercise, aggravate your mind and your body so you're stronger and more fit and resilient, and then stay hydrated and avoid bad things. So that's our whole list. That's the whole list for the summer. I hope you have a wonderful summer. I hope it's filled with adventures. That's my life goal, and I hope it's an exciting one for you.
I hope your life is filled with adventures as well.
We hope your life is filled with adventures.
Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next season.
We'll see you in the winter. Signing off.